and welcome back to Arguably Speaking.
I'm Kiera,
I'm Sarah.
and today we're back at it with another episode.
Yay! So this should be coming out around when Christmas is happening, and as such, we've chosen a really appropriate theme of the apocalypse.
Well, the year's ending, close to like the world ending,
Yeah.
you know.
And for some reason, we've just been talking about our survival strategies.
Or abilities.
Right,
Or lack
exactly.
thereof.
And so it's just been like an often topic of conversation. But before we jump into that, do you have any like updates for me just in general about life?
Well, recently I went to a very cute little town
Oh my
in Washington. So to start on the Christmassy holiday train, because the rest of the episode isn't going to be very themed.
God.
In Seattle, there's a bunch of fun, like holiday themed events. We talked about one before, which was the caroling, and that was really great. But another very well known one is going to this small Bavarian town called Leavenworth. And they're kind of like an alpine town, I'd say, a mountain town, and they are surrounded by these gorgeous forests, and it's just a nice little place nestled, small population, similar to Estes, kind of
Okay.
touristy.
Yeah, nice.
But the cool thing is that all of the houses and the shops are all themed, so they're German, like they look like
Cute.
little German houses
Aw.
and stuff. And it's pretty small. Like you could walk up and down the street. I was there for probably 4 or 5 hours. Got some food and stuff, but all of the theme things and all of the activities were so great.
Aw.
So it we got there and it was snowing, thankfully. Like there was definitely wet roads, but it wasn't icy,
Okay.
which was
That's
a little
good.
bit scary because it was like winter storm warning. You must have four-wheel drive or have chains. And I was like,
Seems like a
no.
lot.
Why is this happening?
That's funny.
But got up, no problem. We got there, all of the trees were completely wrapped in light.
Oh my gosh.
You know how sometimes they do the trunks? Well, this time it was like every single branch.
Wow.
And it was like this very nice town square. All of these kids were sledding on some very disgusting looking snow.
Ooh. That's so,
But it was
that's so
so
cute,
funny
right?
because there were a bunch of sled shops, right?
Okay.
Where they were selling these things. And the kids would just like lay on the sled, and their parents would just drag them like on the side to get to the sledding hill.
That's so funny.
And they were completely like the kids almost looked like asleep. How little they were moving.
That's so funny.
And the parents all looked very miserable.
That's ridiculous. You have to drag your own sled. That's like,
Part of
you
the
know,
fun.
yeah, like suffering and then reward.
Exactly. It makes
Yeah.
the sled down all that much more fulfilling.
Yeah.
But it was
That's so
also
funny.
in Seattle, it's just a little bit warm, like it will snow, or in
Mm.
Washington, it's not quite as powdery and like dry as it is in Colorado. So there were also very large puddles
No, no.
everywhere.
Dang.
And lots of snow, lots of puddles. But it was overall a very great time.
Aw.
So themed. I was like, I
Cute.
feel like I'm in a little movie.
Aw.
And there were all these shops and things. A lot of live music. We had carolers. We had show choir, not show choirs, just high school choirs.
Yeah.
Like individual, like guitar
Buskers.
guy, yeah,
Yeah.
buskers,
Aw.
performing.
That's so fun.
Yeah, a lot of hot chocolate stands, corn dogs, all that good stuff.
Aw.
Bava-
Sounds great.
Bavarian foods, Bavarian town foods, beer gardens, sausage gardens.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get
Yeah.
at.
Gardens.
Yeah, but so that was my
Food.
wintry activity.
Cute.
Went and it is quite far from Seattle. It's like 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on how lucky you get with traffic.
Mm.
So it's definitely a full day of driving.
Yeah.
But I think it would be worth it if you could spend the night. Hotels were just very expensive, and that
Yeah.
was simply not going to happen.
That's fair. That's super fun. But that was really fun though.
Yeah.
That's cute. Love.
Do you have any fun holiday or wintry themed update?
I did get to go to a Christmas market, which was fun. We rode on a carousel, which was pretty sick. I got to ride a giant rooster. I made a pretty funny joke. I'm not gonna share it on the pod.
Read between the lines.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny, and it was nice. I think was a little underwhelmed
Mm.
at the like just things that were being sold in there. I don't know. I kind of expected there to be more activities and less just like trinkets.
Mm.
which
That's
was
fair.
kind of a little bit of a bummer. I don't know. Like I expected it was like, oh, maybe we'll get to like write a letter to Santa or
Oh.
like cut out
Decorate
right,
cookies.
decorate
Yeah.
cookies, cut out snowflakes, like just general like crafting things.
They clearly did
Um
not follow our rules for events.
right, or like making ornaments or anything like that,
Yeah.
but it was basically just like come in, spend money to get in and then spend more money.
While you're here.
And I
Was
was
the
like,
carousel
okay.
free? The
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the
That's nice.
carousel was free, which was nice. And then, we went kind of in the middle of the day, which I guess a lot of the things that you would have like walked through or walked past would have been a lot prettier if it was like lit up, and stuff
In
like
the
that.
evening. Yeah.
But it was still nice, and it felt like we were doing something special
Themed.
just to do it. So yeah,
And
but
that's near the Space Needle, right?
it is, it is.
Yeah.
It's right next to the Space Needle.
So good views.
Yeah, and I will say the most fun thing was not even in the Christmas market. It was in the armory.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was this little tiny town situation, like dolls and things like that.
That's so
It was
cute.
super fun with like a train and everything.
Aw.
And then they had like a scavenger hunt that you could do looking at the tiny town. So of course I was like, we got to do this.
What were you looking for? You were looking for specific like figurines or like
Yeah.
landmarks and
Yeah,
stuff?
so it was a bunch of different things. One of them was like name 5 birds that find their home in Centerville, which was like the name of the little town, right? And so it was like, oh, there's a peacock, look, an owl.
Nice.
So you'd write that
Yeah.
down. But then other things, you were looking for specific stuff. So it was like, where did Bunny forget her knitting? And so you're like looking for a little tiny ball of yarn with little knitting
That's
needles.
so cute.
Yeah, so it was really fun, and we did not do it completely on our own, I will say, because we were struggling to find the Sasquatch and the knitting were the two things that we really had a
The
trouble.
Sasquatch and the knitting.
There was a Sasquatch, which was pretty funny, but there was another woman who
They're
was like
notoriously hard
walking
to
around.
find.
Right? No, honestly, like there are people out there who like dedicate their lives to searching for knitting. So thank you. It's like, she's not gonna see it coming. She's not gonna see it. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, so we were having trouble with those two things, but there was a mom and her little kid who were running around and doing all of it, and she was talking about how like they've put this in a different place this year, blah blah blah, last year, blah blah blah, and we were like, hey,
We need help.
we really need some
We're
help. We've been
struggling
here
so
for
much.
like 25 minutes and like we hadn't gone to the Christmas market yet, so
Oh my
I
gosh,
was
you
kind
were still on the side of it.
yeah, I was like but she helped us find the Sasquatch, which was really nice. And like we definitely would not have found it without her help. So shout out to that mom. But the exciting thing is if you complete it right and then you turn it in, you're entered into a drawing. And once a week throughout the like display being up time, you can win tickets to see Cirque du Soleil.
Whoa!
I know.
That's such a good prize.
Right? I was like, that's a great prize.
Do
So
you
I
just
was
get
like, we
one
have to
ticket?
finish this.
2 tickets.
I don't actually know. I'm not sure.
Should always. I feel like prizes should always come in twos.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to
You want a
share
buddy.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then they had a grand prize that was across like all the weeks. And that would be to get tickets to a Kraken game.
Hmm.
And I was like,
Honestly, Cirque du Soleil might be more fun for me.
that's
me
that's what I was thinking. I've heard that the atmosphere in the Kraken's the hockey team here. For those of you who are unaware, but it's like I've heard that it's a really good vibe and like really energetic and like cool fan camaraderie stuff, but at the same time it's like I want to go to the circus.
Well,
It could
speaking
be
of
fun.
the Krakens, they have a ice rink that's pretty close to us. It's in Northgate, so you just kind of go up the I-5 and then you go to the mall, and then they have this really nice little iceplex, and there's 3 different rinks, and one of them is open to public skating.
Ooh.
And I went somewhat recently, a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but if I did, now you get to hear it a second time. I don't know.
Yay.
And you can pay for the public open skating, and it's super fun. And since it's inside, you can go all year round,
Oh, nice.
which is really exciting. Yeah.
That's great.
But it is very, very great ambiance. And the Kraken like logos everywhere, and I think that's where they do some training. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure that they don't have it solely for public use.
Oh yeah, it's definitely somewhat private. Like they do lessons and stuff as well. So At some point, we should go ice
We
skating.
just, I was like, I love ice skating. It's
Yes,
so fun.
it
It's the
is.
perfect amount of like activity, but not really too much activity
And you can
because you
still
can still
talk.
chat.
As
Yeah.
long as someone's not falling over.
Right.
But if they are, they can just hug the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and we're both like decently good.
Yeah.
You're better than I am, for sure.
I can go faster than you can, I
Yeah.
think.
I think that's fair.
But I get careless and then I'm like, oh, I can do this thing. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, calm down.
Whoa, whoa,
Like,
whoa.
I did accidentally cause someone else to fall. And I was there. I was skating really fast. And then,
Mm,
people who are not, that
right.
good at ice skating, they are wobbling a lot and they're moving really irregularly. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're going fast, you're kind of having to dodge and weave.
Right.
And this person in front of me was like,
Whoa.
and unsteady. And so I was like zooming and I was like, I can fit between these two people. And then I just,
Oh no.
and like they were like, and then I turned around and was like, I'm so sorry. And they were like, but they were definitely like
Oh.
on the ground or on the
Bummer.
ice,
Yeah.
which is a little
That's
silly.
so funny. That's super silly.
Um,
I love it though.
but in our final recap, unless you have other
Mm,
things,
I don't.
we also hosted our first cookie
We
exchange.
did, and it went really, really well.
It was great.
I had a wonderful time. There were
So
a
many
lot of
cookies.
cookies. I think yesterday my cookie count was up to 7, and
Whoa.
that's not including the Rice Krispie treats I also ate.
I forgot we have Rice Krispie treats.
We don't have that many anymore.
Can I still have one today?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
great.
There's like a solid 3 inches left
Okay.
in the pan.
Great, great, great. I'll have just a couple bites.
Yeah.
I love Rice
Please.
Krispies.
No.
But yeah, we have like I instructed everyone who came to bring 2 dozen because I had gotten a lot of RSVPs and people who said they would come and then didn't. Because it is finals week, and a lot of people are also like going back home for the holidays slash winter break.
Right.
XYZ. So it makes sense that there were some like last minute cancellations, but that just means that everyone brought like 2 dozen plus cookies, which is a lot
Great.
for, I think we had like
10 people?
10 people or
Yeah.
so. Which is still a pretty good turnout.
Totally.
Because 10 times 24 cookies,
That's a lot of cookies.
240 cookies, and I accidentally made 4 dozen.
Well, it's good that you made more because I only made 21 cookies.
Yeah,
You know,
you were in the deficit.
I was letting down the team there for a
It's
moment.
okay. Someone only brought 12.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
Wild.
But no, it was exciting. There were no duplicate cookies, and everyone got to try new flavors and stuff.
Really good.
And some people brought recipes, little recipe cards. Shout out, Bryn, you're the
So
best.
cute. I love that.
And I wish I had thought of that and made other people also do the same thing.
Yeah.
But
Because some of the cookies were really good, and I totally would try and make them.
exactly. And then it feels like a little awkward to reach out, but if they had provided the recipe, it would have been nice.
Yeah.
But then in addition to that, we also had snowflake making and puzzle creation tables.
Super great.
So everyone got to do their little thing. I made a spiced cranberry drink, which turned out so well
really
for
good.
like having no ingredients. I just
Yeah.
had cranberry juice and then I got an orange and spices
Yeah, it was really
and
yummy.
heated that sucker up.
I will say it was better the first like initial warming that like I got some later and then I rewarmed it up and I was like, wow, this is really strong.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, it definitely like when it was in the crock pot, that was its prime, and
Yeah.
then like we heated it up in the microwave later, and it was like,
It's okay.
alrighty.
But yeah, it was really good, honestly, for just throwing stuff in there.
Yeah,
But
super successful, and it was like
Yeah.
a daytime event. It was really
so
nice.
nice.
Um,
Oh my god, and we made a little Christmas tree.
yes, it was
We made
so
a
cute.
baby.
From the Dollar Tree. Thank you, Dollar Tree Decorations for coming in clutch.
So cute. Well, and so we had like it's just basically like a little stick with like 5 little branches each like 2 inches up, right? So there's really not a lot going on.
Not a
there.
lot of tree.
But we put like a red t-shirt on the bottom, like a tree skirt, and Bella had these cute little string light things. And then I used all of my additional Christmas earrings
So fun.
as ornaments. So it looks
So
like
good.
Christmas earrings.
Yeah.
Cute. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
we
And it brought
are in
a
the spirit.
to the house.
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit silly for us to get a tree, especially since none of us are actually going to be here. for most of the month of December.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. But our whole center is festive enough now. We got some tinsel. We were able to reuse some of the red decorations from my
Yeah,
birthday.
that was really nice.
So it all worked out.
Fun, fun.
Um,
And the power didn't go out while everyone was here.
Big win because the power's been going out daily.
Yeah, it's my room hasn't been able to have its overhead light turn on for like a week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we're gonna
it's whatever.
figure that out sometime. Hopefully
Yeah.
we're gone. It'll get
I'm
figured.
daisy chaining extension cords so
From the
that I'm
hallway.
still able to sew because it's crunch time now.
Yeah,
I
we
gotta
gotta
get
get
this
stuff
stuff down.
finished.
Done. Wow, words. Anyways, unless we have anything else to catch up on, I did prepare a little game
Yay!
for the group. Okay. It would be best if we had like little whiteboards, but we don't. And so that's okay. We're just gonna say the words.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds
So,
good.
have you ever heard of the Newlyweds game?
Oh my gosh, yes!
Okay, perfect. So, for those of you who don't know, Newlyweds game, basically the host, which I am being a host and a contestant, asks two newly married people who would be the most likely to blank, or what is this person's favorite blank, right? So, for example, if it was Newlyweds, it's like, who does the more dishes?
And then you raise a shoe usually.
Right, yeah. And then it's like, oh my gosh, wow, because, sometimes you agree and sometimes you don't agree, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or it's like, what is your partner's favorite wine? I can't think of a good example.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like different kinds of questions, but the idea is how well do you know each other and do you have the same opinions about like who would do what in the relationship?
Yeah.
So, as our theme is the apocalypse, I created the Apocalypse Newlyweds game. So I wrote down a bunch of different questions.
Super
and,
exciting.
We're gonna see if Kiera and I have the same opinions about who would, whatever,
Do
whatever, with the apocalypse.
Yeah, because honestly, we'll talk about this more, but we both kind of agreed that neither of us would survive
Yeah.
an apocalypse, like, or like even if natural selection was really taking its course in this day and age, like
Yeah.
would we live without modern medicine?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
There's
We
a
got
chance.
We got the social game down.
Right.
now.
Oh, totally. Do we function really well in our society as it is today? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing
Yeah.
great.
At least well enough.
Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Yeah.
So, first question. Sorry if you can hear the paper rustling. That's just some ASMR. Who would be the first to be bitten by a zombie?
Okay, are we gonna do like a 1, 2, 3, or are we gonna like raise hands?
Up to you. Up to you. Oh, do we want this hand to be Kiera and this hand to be Sarah?
Well, I was looking around the room and I was trying to figure out if I could see any objects that would work.
For us.
Like,
That's
I
don't know.
I don't know either.
That's okay.
Great. So left hand for Kira, right hand for Sarah.
Okay.
And the question is,
Who would be bitten by a zombie first? Who would be first to
Okay.
be bitten?
on the count of 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Sarah.
Yep. Definitely me. Definitely me. Nice.
A few reasons. I
Okay.
think.
I would like to hear
Um,
your reasons.
I think one is because you wouldn't notice that someone had been bitten, and so you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, come here! Like it's okay. Like, we'll work
take care of
together.
you." Yeah.
We'll just work together, and it'll be fine."
That's so funny.
And then you'd be like, "Oh my god, this person is
Wait
not
a
a
second.
person. This person is not well."
Definitely a zombie.
And then you get a little too close, and just a little bite
yeah.
be taken out.
I agree. I was thinking more of the like I would be so ingrained in a task or like oblivious of what is happening behind me or around me that I'd just get like sneak attack bitten and
you're
I'd be like, "Oh, oh darn. Didn't see that one coming." Okay. Nice. Okay. We are in agreement. Who is most likely to have a bunker with supplies?
Okay.
In a post-apocalyptic world, if say we were characters in a movie, or if you already have one right now that I don't know of, sure. But yeah, who would be most likely?
Okay,
to
I have
be
thoughts on this, but we'll do
prepared?
the 1, 2, 3 first.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Kiera.
Perfect.
Okay.
I also think Kiera.
I was kind of going back and forth because one, I think I'm the most likely to have actually prepared a specific bunker and like have a backup plan and to have thought like, okay, this is gonna be over here. This is our little like
Right.
hoard, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But I think there's a much higher chance that Sarah will just happen to have the thing that we need.
I was also thinking that.
Like, Sarah will just be like, oh, I do have this one random object that's going to be extremely useful right now. Let me just check under the third pillow on the left side of my room in the corner. It's got to be there.
I just think I own a lot more like items that could be useful.
I have a lot of plants.
Yeah. Well, and like we could eat them. Maybe no.
Some of them are poisonous.
Okay. We could poison the post-apocalyptic monsters. The apocalyptic monsters, not post. The inter-apocalyptic.
It depends on how long we live for current and
It does.
post-apocalyptic situation. Yeah. Okay.
No, I agree. I think if it was like coming down to like ingrained like purposeful preration.
Yeah, like I would have food and water for sure.
Yeah.
But you would have like the net that we need to capture something with.
You needed 3 yards of twine?
Yeah.
I got you.
Don't worry, I have 4 yards of houndstooth fabric that we can guide the monsters away.
Because everybody knows it's kind of like a bowl.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Red. But
exactly.
Yeah. No,
but
monsters. Houndstooth. It makes sense. It just goes together. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, the next one is so we'll do you first and then we'll do me. What would Kira's weapon against the apocalyptic monster be? And then I have options so that we can choose from the options. Because, you know, if we were just to choose any weapon, we would probably not agree.
Yeah, and like that's too much. I don't
Right.
I don't have enough thoughts for that.
Too many weapons to choose from. Okay, so these are your options. Shotgun, bow and arrow, axe, sheer cunning wit, machete. Okay.
Sheer cunning wit.
Yeah. Okay,
okay
so I'll say it again, just for those of you at home who are listening in. Shotgun, bow and arrow, axe, sheer cunning wit, and machete.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I wish we could pick 2.
Oh.
Are we gonna do a 1, 2, 3 situation, or do you just want to say what you think and I'll say what I think?
Okay, I'll say what I think first.
Okay.
I think you would have a machete.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the cutting, and then it's also kind of like a sword. I feel like I can see you getting in there, you know? And it's like a very useful item in terms of like, you know, plant harvesting. I don't know.
Or like, what is it? The scythe where you like the grain harvester thing.
Exactly. I feel like you could have it be like a utilitarian tool for most of the time, and then you use it also as a weapon. When the need arises.
I was definitely like, I don't know if I could get down and dirty. Like, I don't know if I could attack.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have to do something that was like further away. And so I was thinking bow and arrow, but I was like, ain't no way in heck my aim is good enough to use a bow and arrow. Like, if I had my choice and could be good at it, I'd probably use a bow and arrow just so I wouldn't have to be so close.
That's fair.
I feel like machete would come in handy if I happened to be like cutting the grain and don't hit me.
That's fair. That's super fair.
Bow and arrow would probably be like my personal weapon of choice.
Nice.
But I was also like, Kiera, you have horrible, like, there's no way to learn this that fast. You're gonna have to rely on sheer cunning wit. You don't have anything else. You have no other skills.
I love it. I feel like you could be pretty cunning. Well, and you know, like, you do a lot of the... What am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Kiera, over the quarantine, was in a, like, Survivor online competition show and made it fairly far.
I won.
Yeah. Okay, you won. You won.
I lost once and I won once. I played
there
twice. 3 times. Okay, lost twice.
Look her up, she's famous.
I got runner-up one time.
Nice.
Because it's like a voting situation. Anyways, yeah.
I feel like in the, like... who's trusting who's backstabbing who situation, you are pretty skilled.
Yeah, I think I could do that well with like humans, like other humans would be good, but like what are you supposed to do with like a monster?
That's fair. That's completely valid. Yeah, I don't know. I also haven't really explained what kind of apocalyptic monster
Yeah,
for these questions,
there's
so
multiple types of apocalypse. Like I was thinking zombie, but then I'm like maybe it's like just a nuclear apocalypse or something, and
right,
so everyone's just like
catastrophic,
yeah,
like
untrusting of one
earthquake,
another
whatever. Yeah,
generally.
right.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like, a virus pandemic situation,
Yeah,
like
that
mad
too.
cow for humans.
Totally.
I don't know. We will discuss some of these later. Okay,
Back to the regularly scheduled
back
programming.
to the questions in the way that I wrote them.
For
What would
Sarah.
Sarah's weapon against the apocalyptic monster be? Shotgun, bow and arrow, axe, sheer cunning, or machete?
Okay, so I automatically think axe, and
Nice.
I think it's also because you like recently went axe throwing probably,
I
so
did
I'm
do that.
being very like biased by
No, that's
by
fair.
current events. But you have cut wood before. I think you know how
I
to
have
use an
cut wood
axe
before.
better than the average person,
Yeah.
and it's also something that I could see happening to be laying around your room.
Oh wait, let me grab this axe.
I got
love
it.
that. I love
And
that.
I think you'd be good at it. Like, I think
Thanks.
you'd have, so you can both throw it and you can like close hand combat. Clearly, we're skilled in combat. Can't
Yeah.
you tell?
For those watching the video format, you can see we have abilities.
We have skills.
I love that. I was kind of leaning towards shotgun myself, but axe was
Ooh.
gonna be the next
The
one after
runner-up.
that. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I just feel like people I don't think that I'd be relatively stable mentally if I lived through an apocalypse,
Mm.
and I feel like the kind of like wild-eyed like people have shotguns, and I was thinking that I would probably
Sure,
be
you're happy.
one of those people where it's like okay,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
I guess a shotgun is different than like a handgun,
Yeah.
too. You're not like sharpshooting out here.
Less aim.
Yeah, you're kind of like,
Right. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna throw as many pellets as fast as I can
Mhm.
with this device.
Yeah.
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 That makes sense.
Pretty fun.
Cool.
Pretty fun. I like
What's
it.
your next question? What do you
Okay,
got?
next question. Who would call the other person first? So if we were in an apocalyptic situation, say earthquake, virus, zombies, etc., who would call who?
Okay. Okay. I have thoughts, but also I'll say them in a minute.
Okay.
We're gonna do a
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Kira.
Nice.
Okay.
I also said Kira. Let's be
Um,
honest. When do I ever call with a phone?
Yeah, I call it pretty frequently, and this doesn't really hold up now anymore because I've been losing my phone quite a lot, which is
Mm.
upsetting. But before in high school and in college, I feel like Sarah lost her phone quite regularly, and
Yeah.
like it would definitely, even if Sarah immediately wanted to call me, would take her a couple minutes to find her
Where's my phone?
Yeah, not
I can't
quite
find it.
again, not quite so applicable because
Yeah.
now we're both doing that. I feel we're like, wait, have you seen my phone? Is it around here?
I haven't seriously lost my phone since my sophomore year of college.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
I haven't
Pretty proud of me.
seriously lost my phone either. I just have seriously thought I lost it.
Yeah, you've unseriously lost your phone. Nice. Okay, yeah. I think you would also be the first to call me.
Yeah.
I think you would become more clear-headed first,
Mhm.
and be like, "Oh wait, okay. This is how I need to start going about doing things."
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Next question. Would Kira hide in and you can only choose between these two things,
Okay.
basement or attic?
Ooh. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Attic. Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We know each other too well. It's
We do.
perfect.
I don't like basements. I also don't like, I feel like it'd be too, like, with an attic, you can jump out of a window or something.
Mhm,
With a
mhm.
basement, you kind of have to, like, crawl up if you're lucky
Yeah.
enough, if there's, like, basement, like, well windows. And it's dark and it's
Right.
scary and it's,
I was also thinking that. I was like, Kira needs light.
yeah.
Even if it means that you're like looking out and seeing terrible things happen, I feel like
Yeah.
you'd want to know more than just like, ugh,
Yeah.
in basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. Okay.
Fair.
Where would Sarah hide? Basement or attic?
1, 2, 3. Basement.
Attic. I feel like I don't
really?
yeah, like
I feel
if-
like she can't sleep
Oh
the
my god,
attic.
that's so funny.
She
That's
she
so
won't
fair.
be able to sleep because she cannot have any light in her room at all, and she can't survive an apocalypse with no sleep.
That's arguably so true. You're right. I don't know. I just feel like if I had to choose one for you and one for me, I would definitely choose basement for me.
Yeah,
makes
like if
more
it had to be
sense.
split up.
But I feel
Yeah.
like if I were having to fight off an attack from either attack coming down at me or an attack coming up at me, like you always want to choose the higher ground.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Combat
Also,
101.
right, yeah. Like,
Because we
because we know how to do the combats.
obviously.
Duh. Yeah, no, that's fair. I do think that if it were less of a like I'm having to fight someone situation and I was just like hiding from the world like
Yeah.
gamma rays or
Yeah.
something, you know?
You were just
like
trying
I
to, like,
think I would
shelter.
I think I would exist sheltering in place better in a basement. I think you're right. So,
I
heard.
strictly was like, she won't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
How's she gonna survive?
There's no way. That's so funny. So true, so true. Okay. In the post-apocalyptic world, so the apocalypse is over, the catastrophic, hurricane and or virus and or monster invasion has ended. Who would be voted president?
Oh.
Groans. Go.
Neither. Sorry.
I don't think if one of us was to be voted
Yeah,
president.
if we had to, like, if
Yeah.
it was if we were the only two options.
The two candidates. You can only choose Sarah or Kiera. Let us know who you would vote as the president. I don't know if I want to make that a poll. It might hurt some
No, we're
feelings.
definitely not gonna make that a poll.
Okay, perfect.
The poll will be will Sarah and Kiera survive the apocalypse? No. Double no.
Double no. Double wow. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Kiera. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't put my hand
It's
up.
okay. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the same way that I would like call first, I would probably be like, we need to do something first.
Yeah. I think I'd be a little bit like, ah.
Or you just be like, I want somebody to take care of me. I don't want to do this.
That's so fair.
And that's also how I would feel, but I'm like, no one's gonna take care of me, so I have to take care of myself.
Oh, I think you'd be a great Madam President.
I don't think I would be.
That's fair.
But if we absolutely had to.
But if it was necessary, that's fair. Well, we both have experience being presidents of things.
Yes.
You were NHS president.
You were student council president.
I wasn't
Vice president?
I was the
But,
vice
like,
president for a while. No, I was president of our class.
Exactly.
It's true.
She's president.
Lost a couple elections in my day. What can I say?
That means she's a good politician, though.
Yeah.
You're
there you
nuanced
go.
enough.
I
You have
am.
people who support and people who don't.
Yeah.
I don't actually know anything.
Were you most likely to be?
Yeah, in 8th
Yeah.
grade or 7th grade or something like that, sometime in middle school, I got voted most likely to be president.
Nice.
And like that's definitely something that's been said a lot of times to me. But I'm always like, I could never be president because I was not born in America.
So true.
I simply
Wow.
could not.
I keep on. It seems like a weird stipulation.
No, it's definitely not allowed.
Yeah. Huh. Wild. There you are. Our next question is, if truly trying to survive, who would last the longest?
Truly trying.
Like, full-hearted effort, no, wimping out, whatever.
No giving up. Yeah.
Right.
Like you're
Sheer will and ability and, like, physicality.
Yeah.
Who would survive the longest?
okay. 1, 2, 3. Sarah.
Nice.
Yeah,
I also think it would be
definitely
me.
Sarah. You definitely have more like foraging and like outdoor ability than I do.
Okay.
Even though I cannot do it, or I can do it, I feel like you have a better sense of how to like guide yourself if you're outside. And I think in Apocalypse, like you're kind of forced out of your house for some reason.
Yeah.
All the apocalypse movies are set outside.
Right.
No one's like, oh, I'm in an apocalypse and in my house.
Me just
The whole
doing
time.
some dishes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think you're more
yeah.
skilled in that way for sure.
I think so too. I think I've spent a bit more time in the outdoor doing just like rudimentary things.
And you had a lot, like your camp that you went to, you were always like
Right.
going out into nature and you were like learning some of these skills. And while I
Yeah.
might know some of them, I definitely don't have the wealth of knowledge that you do.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
You
that.
live.
I appreciate that. I also think that if one of us were to die in a stupid way, I do think that it would be me. Do you know,
Okay.
like a stupid mistake?
Yeah.
So depending, like, if all went well and I didn't just like, oops, oh no, picked up the wrong end of that, whatever,
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Well, I think what we're learning here is that we should really band together if an
Yeah.
apocalypse ever
I think that's super
Yeah.
great idea. I'll wait for your call.
Don't get a call from me within the first hour. Can you please call me?
Yeah. Is Kira dead? Okay. We have 2 more questions left.
Amazing.
And yeah. Okay. Who would realize the apocalyptic monsters, quote unquote, are sentient / befriendable?
Oh.
Right? Who would give these, insert zombie, viral people, whatever, who would be like, oh, wait, they're not trying to kill us.
Yeah,
They're just trying to whatever.
like communicate.
Right, yeah. Or like aliens, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Aliens could be apocalyptic as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I kind of spoiled what I was gonna say because I said the word. But anyways, 1, 2, 3. Sarah.
Really? I wasn't sure.
Okay, I was gonna say because communications major and like yeah, I feel like you have a little bit of a pulse on that.
Okay.
And
Well, thanks.
yeah, that just makes sense. But then I was like, shoot, I said communications earlier. They're gonna pick up on it.
I love it.
Yeah. So
I
that's
don't know.
the explanation.
I feel like I would be like scared.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more scared than you would be scared.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you think me because I
I think
would
you'd be less
go up
fearful.
to them first, maybe?
I think that yeah. I don't know.
Interesting.
I think that you'd be more brave in approaching and or interactions, and I would be like, "Ah, it's unknown and change is scary.
Yeah. Totally.
But also, hey, we both think that we're good, cool people, so that's great.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to find some of the monsters that are cool and chill like us.
Yeah, totally. We're super chill. They probably, if it was aliens, they'd probably be listening to this podcast.
Yeah,
So,
obviously.
I hear that we're
Arguably, yes.
arguably speaking, we're really cool, and the aliens would love us. Okay, last question. What type of apocalypse would Kira thrive best in? I have 4 categories, and we can add more if we think of one that we want to include. Zombie apocalypse, a viral or pandemic apocalypse, a weather catastrophe of any kind. So think, huge tsunami, global fire, sunburst, all of the technology, whatever, right? An alien invasion.
Okay, cool. There's almost like 2 top ones that come to mind for me.
Okay.
And then 2 I mean, honestly, yeah, 2 bottom ones. But again, moral of the story is I wouldn't do well in any of these situations. Are we doing me first? Or
yeah, we're gonna do you first.
Okay, and just pick one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what I'm gonna say.
I also know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Are we gonna do 1, 2, 3?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Viral
Alien invasion.
pandemic.
Okay. That was the second one.
Okay.
That was the second one.
Okay.
I thought both of these for the same reason because you still have the use of like modern technology. With zombies, for some reason, in zombie apocalypse, I feel like everything just gets degraded because people aren't there to function with it, and that kind of carries over to like the viral like pandemic as well. Like the
Okay.
people who are manning these infrastructure pieces of our society are
Right.
simply not there anymore
Okay.
because they are sick or infected or a zombie
I
or
can see
whatever.
that. I can see
With
that.
an alien invasion, I think there's a much higher likelihood that people would just like feel like it's an apocalypse, but it might not actually be.
Okay.
Like it's just scary and new.
Yeah.
And like people aren't necessarily getting sick and maybe they're not getting like killed or anything. Like
Right.
there's a
Right.
chance, there's more of a chance of survival for a larger number of people, which I would probably do better in.
Yeah. Kira's like, if it's better for most, then it's better for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. That's super fair. I was thinking the viral pandemic because I feel like you could be pretty diligent in your
Mm.
like cleanliness and also like sealing off of,
Mm.
germ area.
Sealing off of the doors, like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I feel like you do fairly well as long as you didn't have like any forced direct contact. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? Like if all you had to do was be like incredibly diligent, I feel like you could do it pretty well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be like, okay, I'm staying in here. Nobody's coming in or out
Right.
forever.
Yay.
Just our
Let's see
pod.
how long I can live.
Indeed.
Sorry, I keep on yawning. It's a morning
It's
podcast
a
recording.
morning, but isn't the lighting nice?
It's super nice. Tell us we look pretty. Okay.
Okay.
So, last question. What type of what
Apocalypse.
Yep. Would Sarah thrive best in? Zombie apocalypse, viral pandemic, weather catastrophe, or alien invasion?
Okay.
I have a pretty large leader for me.
Okay, I do well, not a large leader, but like I think I know.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Weather catastrophe. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah,
Yes.
I feel similarly.
Nice.
Yeah, you just would similar for the expertise that you have in the outdoors. That'd be great. Plus, you don't have to deal with any like weird thing, like anything that
Right.
you haven't already dealt with.
Right.
Like
right.
people and aliens and zombies would all be very new and like a big change, and you'd be like, ah,
Big change. I'd be like,
whereas in weather catastrophe, you're like, okay, at least everybody around you is also like of sound mind
right.
and body, and you could kind of maybe not body, but like you could band together for
Yeah.
sure.
I think so too. And I think I could rationalize it a lot better, which
Yeah.
would help me survive.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, okay, it's a fire. It's just a really big fire.
Yeah.
Or like
There's a solution to this problem that could be
Right.
found out.
right. And I
Mhm.
think I'd do really well if there was like say it was like a solar flare or something and all the
No
technology went
power.
away. I think I'd be okay.
She'd just be hand sewing in her
I'd be like,
room.
scoobity bow bow bow. You need clothes? Give me your money.
I got you.
You know?
This is a bartering system.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
I think you would do well.
I think I could like not that I'm the best gardener, but I know what it do, I
Yeah.
could get it done. So yeah, I think that
I think it makes sense.
it does. It does. Well, thank you so much for playing your apocalyptic newlyweds.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
had
so
a great
fun.
time.
Well, we were having these conversations just in our kitchen in our living room, and we were like, "Wait, this is a great podcast episode. We have to stop talking now."
I love it.
Which has honestly happened slightly more than we thought it would
Yeah.
happen in our
Like,
conversations.
shush, do not tell me.
Do not give me updates. We will talk about it in a couple hours.
Talk about it on the pod. Yeah, I will say that we haven't said this on the pod yet, and you already know this about me, but I have already made up my mind that if I were to ever be in an apocalyptic situation, I would not try and survive. Because I don't think I would function well in the aftermath.
Yeah.
Like change is a lot for me anyways, and like even if I'm choosing to make that change, like moving to a city in Seattle to live with my friends, like I'm still pretty rocked by it. And so I feel like the best thing for me to do would be to sacrifice myself very valiantly.
Early on.
Right, exactly. It's like save the most people, do the most good, but I'll hold the door.
Yeah.
I'll jump on the grenade. I'll do the thing, right? I'll save everyone else so that they can struggle through the rest of this terrible experience.
But remember you fondly.
Exactly, and then maybe like name a school after me.
Yeah.
Or like a park or like
Yeah.
a statue or something like that. Because it feels good.
And also, it feels good after you're gone. Also, I don't think I think I would have a will to live just on principle
Mm.
very early on. I think I wouldn't maintain that long though,
Mm.
especially if like all the people around me are no longer
Yeah, if I'm
alive.
gone,
If you're gone,
that'd be a
the
bummer.
light of my life.
Oh,
No, but seriously, I think both of us would just be like,
this is
there's too
terrible.
much, there's too many things happening,
Yeah.
and there are simply not enough things that are in my control to
Mhm.
be able to change this
No, honestly.
situation.
Yeah. Cause like, I don't know. I don't know why I think about this as being like this is what the apocalypse would be. But like at the end of the Hunger Games, when Peeta and Katniss are just sitting there with their kids, I'm
In
like,
like a tiny house in the
it's
middle of nowhere.
terrible.
Yeah. Because you don't have any community. Like you don't
Right.
have anything that makes life so rich. You're
Right.
just very small amounts of
Exactly.
it.
And it's like they are so fondly remembering Finnick, and I'm like, I could be Finnick.
That's true.
That'd be fine.
Wow, that was
You know?
rest in peace, Finnick.
I'm sorry. Spoilers.
I watched the part two of the Hunger Games semi recently, like within a
Mm.
year, and I forgot what had happened.
Dang.
And so when we got to that scene, I was like, horrible.
I love it. That's so funny.
But the reason that we kind of got under the apocalypse natural selection
Yes.
frame is
So
because
true.
in the apocalypse you're starting to lose some of your basic pieces of like life, including, you know, easy access to things, you know, food, water, but also like medicine.
Right?
And we, even though I am not an active glasses wearer all the time, I wear contacts and I have
Mhm.
glasses for evening times. My prescription is quite high.
Yeah.
Quite high.
True. That's
Yeah.
funny.
And
Yeah.
I don't think natural selection would allow me to live super long. Like I do have glasses. But I just like if they broke, if my contacts like ran out, didn't have
Yeah.
any solution, that would happen pretty fast. If my
Yeah.
prescription got significantly worse,
You just wouldn't
I
be
just
able to
wouldn't be
see.
able to see or
Yeah.
function,
That's so funny.
which would greatly inhibit me moving forward.
True.
Yeah.
I would be able to see enough, but I'd be annoyed about it.
Yeah.
You would die.
I would die. I
You
would
know.
die. I'd be like, is this plant edible? Hmm.
Is this
I can see
a
things
plant?
very
Just kidding.
close to my face. Like I'm nearsighted, so I'd be
Yeah.
able to inspect things, I guess, very closely.
Yeah.
But nah,
But,
long
like-
distance, like I would not be able to see that monster coming at me.
You very possibly could walk off of a cliff.
You know, like wildly possibly, very possibly is aggressive. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's fair. That's
Um,
super funny though. But yeah. It would be a little bit unfortunate. Thankfully, I do not rely on like medication to survive. You know, like
Me
my
too.
brother,
Yeah.
if he didn't have access to insulin,
Yeah,
there you go.
would not
That would be
fare
it.
well.
And my brother, I arguably would say, would last the longest out of everyone I
He
know.
definitely has the most skills.
So many skills, so many archaic, also just very much like discipline and like the willingness to continue on. I feel
Mhm.
like is very strong.
Would
with
make it
him,
work.
you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Kind of fun.
What other things? When we were talking about natural selection, we were also thinking about like if we had any childhood stories that would have inhibited us from even making it to like the time that the apocalypse would happen. So like when I was young, I had to get my tonsils out when I was 5 years old because I kept getting strep throat all the time. My tonsils were just extremely enlarged and it was bad. And strep throat is also linked to pink eye. So if you get strep throat, you're like significantly more susceptible to pink eye, or it just happens. At least that's what my parents told me, and I think they heard that from a doctor. I haven't looked it up recently
Okay.
because thankfully I haven't had strep throat since then.
Nice.
Knock on wood. But I don't know if I would have made it past year 5 in non-modern medicine times because strep throat and pink eye and being sick constantly, I feel like that just wrecks your immune system. That would make me susceptible to like all of the other kinds of diseases and such. And then I would just like get the flu and die
Yeah.
before making it to an age old enough to survive.
Totally. That
Yeah.
totally makes sense. I also got my tonsils removed, actually. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever talked about this.
I don't think we have.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
I got my tonsils removed when I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got strep throat, like, not super. I got it like maybe 2 times a year.
Okay.
Which is
I was
still,
getting it monthly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, it was still really annoying, and I was still, like, missing out on a lot of things because I was sick, but not as bad as you.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the reason that I got my tonsils out was because I got tonsillitis.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Which, nasty, disgusting. I got really good at showing people the back of my throat, which is, like, an odd skill to have, but you have to be able to, like, press your tongue down and, like, completely. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Just know that I showed people my tonsils so much as a kid, because when I had tonsillitis, they had, like, spots. It looked like I was, like, almost growing, like, mold on my tonsils. It was super gross.
Awesome.
Yeah, now you have that image. No, but it got to the point where my tonsils were so swollen that I, like, was struggling to breathe.
Huh.
Yeah. So
also Sarah wouldn't
probably not, to be completely honest. Like, it was weird because when I had the, like, tonsillitis, I did get medication, but that I didn't get my tonsils removed while that was happening. It was like 3 months later, and someone was like, "Hey, you said you couldn't breathe?
Let's talk
We're
about
taking
that.
those out."
Yeah.
You know? And it was the best thing. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
super gross though, I will say. Like, I don't know. I had not a fun time healing from that.
The greatest thing about getting my tonsils out so young is that I barely remember it. I remember drinking this, like, vial of pink liquid and then being like, we're gonna count down from 10. And they got to, like, 7 and I was out.
Goodbye.
And then I woke up and I was like, wow. And there were all these, like, people around me and they were, like, shoving, like, do you want apple juice? Do you want pudding? Here's a coloring book. And I was like, huh? I'm like a little tiny kid. Yeah, like, what do you mean? But I did get to have so much pudding.
Nice.
So much of the snack pack pudding.
Amazing.
I lived off of that. And I think my first, like, solid food was probably ramen. Because I had bouillon and, like, broth and stuff.
Nice.
But when you're little, you don't really need as much food.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember, like, eating ice cream.
A lot.
So much ice cream. And our mutual friend from a long time ago brought me ice cream. Brought me ice cream.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was really sweet. It was really cute. But yeah, no, I just remember, like, there was a decent amount of, like, bleeding that happened. And so every now and then I'd just, like, and it was so gross. And I remembered one day, like, I genuinely thought I was gonna die.
Oh.
And my parents were gone at work or something, and so my brother was there, and he was like, "It's okay," and I was like, "Thank you.
It's not okay, but okay.
Tell our parents I loved them." Like, not a great time, but yeah.
Well, we talked about physical. We kind of talked about mental, like in terms of survival in the apocalypse. So physically, we probably wouldn't have made it.
Totally.
Mentally, we would have given up.
Yeah. Chosen to not
Continue on.
Yeah.
But socially, I think is the only lane that we could really thrive in.
Yeah.
Like, I think we are both really lucky to have friends, not only, like, a good amount of friends and at differing levels.
Yeah.
But, like, friends in far places. Geographically,
Yeah.
to where if we needed to be nomadic, if we needed to move from, like, an epicenter of the apocalypse, like, maybe it's just North America, or maybe it's just, like, the Seattle western
Area.
like
Right.
to Denver area,
Yeah.
we could go further out and still have people that would take care of us or help us survive.
Right. I think you're totally right. We definitely would have networking
We are networkers.
Like, very, like, what am I trying to say? Distant and, like, depth,
of relationships.
Yes.
We have both.
I think that would help a lot. And also, like, different, like, I would be able to call on some very interesting people who have very interesting skills.
Yeah, you'd be like, wait a second.
I'd be
I
like,
know a person who
I
can
need
do
someone
this.
who knows how to weld. What up? Let's go. Like, I got you. People who have, a decent amount of, say, weapons. I got connections, okay? I'm just, not in a weird way, in a completely normal kind of way.
Yeah, in like a collector's way.
Right. Like, do I need a sword? Easy. So easy. You know, I could get it done. So yeah, I think you're right. I think socially we do pretty well.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we could definitely make some connections along the way that would suit us well, because I think we've established that we know we would do better in like a group than on our own.
Definitely.
I think other people in a survival situation are like, I'm better on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I can be self-sufficient. I can run this show.
Yeah.
And I think if we absolutely had to, we could figure that out, but we would have an easier time adjusting to apocalypse life.
Yeah. I
In a
definitely be like alliance forming, like very trusting kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think socially we would slay the game.
Slay.
Yeah.
Slay.
Speaking of slays, Christmas is coming up, and wouldn't it be great if you gave your favorite podcasters a monetary gift? Just kidding. It's just a
If you
joke.
just gave us like a little, what, a little 5-star review,
Yes.
or a little like, or a little
Yes.
share, or
Share our
anything.
Instagram with a friend.
Yeah.
That would be the best gift. A, because not only are you giving the gift of entertainment to them, you're giving the gift of a new listener to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
So what could be better?
What could be better?
And aren't we just that warm, fuzzy feeling that you want to have
We
at the
are.
holidays?
Tell them to listen to our Christmas episode. We won't say anything about the apocalypse in the title. It's so funny.
I feel like it's gonna be like end of year, end of days, or something.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's so
Yeah.
great.
Good.
That's
Okay. Because we have to think of what our New Year's episode is gonna be.
Yeah.
Which also might be a special guest episode. We'll
That'd
let
be
you
pretty
know.
fun.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it'd be super fun.
But as it stands right now, I feel like that's most of what we had to talk about today.
Yeah.
We just thought it'd be a fun, silly little topic. We had a game. Sarah had a game prepared, and we knew we could talk on it for an hour or so.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
Let us
okay.
know, what apocalyptic world you would thrive best in.
If any, would you give up? Would you
Right?
keep going on?
Exactly.
Do you have a stockpile?
Do you? Do you keep, random trinkets around just in case they're going to be useful?
Well, as a small side note, my uncle does have a bunker.
Really?
My uncle Bob, who is
Your uncle's so. Oh, we'll
My
have to talk
Uncle
about your
Bob.
uncle in a minute because I think he's so interesting. Yeah.
Uncle Bob prepares for a lot of things in weird ways. Like his bunker certainly would not help anyone survive long term, but maybe in the short term
Okay.
it would be helpful.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of water and tuna, I think.
Nice.
So that's a win.
Tuna's a superfood.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it is. I said it with so much confidence, and now I'm like, actually, probably
But
not.
worst comes to worst, Sarah can call her friends. I can call my uncle.
Yeah. What up?
What
I
up?
think we'll be okay.
And we can all go to my uncle's bunker together. There's only room for 5 to 7 people max.
Nice. Okay, who's your 5? No, just kidding. We're not going to share that.
No.
Okay.
But again, thank you so much for listening in today. We really appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram. Do the little likey, sharey thingies.
Mm-hmm.
And we will talk to you next time on
Arguably speaking. Bye.